Alright guys, good morning. Welcome to our morning note. It is 9:01 Eastern Standard Time here on a Thursday, December 3rd. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of G.A.R Capital. Thank you for stopping by. This is our YouTube channel. You're locked into our morning note. G.A.R Capital FX.com is the website. Bottom right hand corner is our little logo. Make sure to click on that. Subscribe, turn on notifications, like our videos. Really do appreciate it as always. Let's talk market, shall we? Sorry for being just a minute late today. Just got a headline come in. The S&P Dow Jones indices to launch cryptocurrency indexes in 2021. That's pretty big if you're a cryptocurrency investor or a Bitcoin investor, which I am. I actually bought some more Bitcoin today. I buy it every Thursday in the morning usually, or in the afternoon, whenever I can. And that's pretty good stuff. So, pretty big news. I went ahead and sent that out on Instagram. You can feel free to check it out. I went ahead and retweeted it. So if you want to take out the link, take a look at it, and rock and roll. Let's talk markets. Again, that was just the headline. So I'll go over the markets again as a whole, and then kind of give you some of the headlines, and then some of my 2 cents on what to expect, and we'll answer some questions. So again, I'd like to give people an overview before we get started. Dow futures up 33 points. S&P. Actually, we're near 30,000, about 100 points away from 30,000 on the Dow Jones. NASDAQ up 14 points. S&P flat, knocking on the door of all-time highs of 3677.5. We're also 2,000, up slightly. Bitcoin futures 19,560, up 1.37%. Gold futures up 0.5%, a little over 0.5% at 1840 an ounce. 23.96 for the silver futures, down 0.46. Euro dollar keeps climbing, 121.46, up 29 pips. The dollar yen is down 33 pips, 104.07 for my Forex people. The dollar index continues to slide near the 90 handle, or it is in the 90 handle, 0.41%. Again, good for stocks, good for commodities, good for crypto and Bitcoin, which is priced in dollars if you're trading that way. VIX down 1.28%, again, as we are knocking on the door of all-time highs on ES. Yesterday we did hit Boeing. I went ahead and tweeted on Boeing that a breakout was incoming. Obviously, I didn't even get a chance to even explain further as it continued to roar. We had the 225 calls. I'm still holding those calls, so it's in the money. We should soar first thing in the morning. I'm definitely going to take that as well. So it looks pretty solid. I actually saw some volume spike on Tesla. So I told the students, again, total lotto. I bought one contract of the 600s on Tesla. I'm going to close that thing first thing in the morning. I'll just take whatever I can get out of it. But again, complete lotto on that one. But looking at here, Palantir, again, up pre-market. But again, that Morgan Stanley news did hit. Let's see if we can get that continuation today. Maybe, again, if there's a name that can move, it is Palantir. Palantir can definitely move to the upside, but again, we need a lot of help. I actually bought some shares yesterday for my portfolio as it hit around 21. So I went ahead and bought it. I like the long-term prospect of growth. And again, a little more on the risky side, but I'm willing to take a little slice of my portfolio, a little more risk on that name. So I went ahead and bought some. Alibaba, we also have, got hit with all those China headlines and stuff like that. And we're basically on the 50-day moving average, as the 50-day has sliced below the 200. I'm looking to see if I could buy some more shares on the dip at 250.66. Once it hits that, I'm buying some more. So I do like Alibaba long term, absolutely. Looking at futures, I do have some SPY and QQQ calls as well. And again, we are nearing all-time highs. We're 10 points on the S&P away from all-time highs. I believe that we'll hit all-time highs today, actually. So I'm expecting a breakout, and then tomorrow with non-farm payroll report. I don't think it'll be such a meaningful report, but again, a little bit of a catalyst, so it does help. Jobless claims came in 712,000 last week versus 780,000 estimate. Pretty good. Walgreens says it is introducing Walgreens Advertising Group, a new retail media offering for brands. U.S. retail foot traffic fell 18% during Black Friday. Makes sense. Dollar General reported their earnings, $8.2 billion in revenue. They beat FedEx. Citi raises the FedEx price target to $365, keeps their buy rating. Snowflake reported yesterday revenue growth of 119% first quarter as a company. I went ahead and sent, they're down pre-market about $10. I went ahead and sent out a list of riskier names that if you're looking to hit home runs long term, there is some names that I've been looking at in regards to stocks for some individuals that, again, they're looking for those. If you're really young and you really want to hit maybe multi-baggers, again, higher risk, again, you can get higher reward, but again, they can get hit. Some of the names there, again, obviously NVIDIA, I put Roku in there, which I own both. AMD's up there. Palantir I just added. Plug I don't own, which you have Tesla in there, NIO, Peloton, Square, Trade Desk, Teladoc, Zoom, Football TV, Beyond, and of course, Cannabis, CGC, THCX. Again, those are all higher risk names. Snow you can add on there too. They're definitely some higher upside names. Again, if you're looking for growth, those are some. I own some of those names, but not all of them. Square climbs with Evercore bullish on payments as cash fades. The story was on Bloomberg. The Square price target was raised to 300 from 161 by Evercore. PayPal's price target was raised to a street high 312 from 240. Wow. So let's take a look at Square. Square up $3 pre-market. PayPal up about $1 pre-market at as high as 220. I own both stocks. Great names to own long term. CrowdStrike was also reported strong guidance beatable via Bloomberg. Their price target, I believe, was moved from 170 to 180, and I think they're up about 13% pre-market. Yep, they're up pretty nicely pre-market. So that's another one that you can add to that list of names that have higher upside. If you're looking for stocks to invest that have higher upside, again, you can always stick with the index funds and Amazons, the Apples of the world, the Microsofts, and you'll be fine. But again, if you're looking for more upside, you need to have these for about 3 to 5 years, and they're actually pretty solid if you're looking for uptick growth. But again, these are all aggressive growth names. So again, just something to think about. I also put a dividend portfolio out there that actually pays monthly on dividends. So I found that online. I went ahead and did some numbers for our investment club. If you're interested in that, feel free to take a look at our investment club group, GARcapitalFX.com. It's under our pin messages on Discord if you're interested in that. But again, pretty good stuff. I don't have a dividend portfolio. I still think I'm a little too young for that. Again, only if I'm a little older, I'll start getting some dividend names. But until then, I already have some dividend names: AT&T, Cisco, I own some Pfizer, Microsoft, Apple has a dividend. Those names are fine. Okay, so let's see. One more thing before we begin is pre-market movers. Let me go and pull that up, and then I'll answer some of your questions this morning. Let's see if I could bring up here. Okay. All right, so pre-market movers, NIO is up about 0.48%. Nothing else here that I see. Express is down 26%. They reported their earnings. Salesforce.com up about 2.48%. Boeing up 2%. We talked about that. Apple's up 0.34% at 123.50. Walmart up about a quarter point. Chevron up 1%. That's what's moving. Walgreens up 0.18% even with their news that they came out. Pfizer up 0.47%. American Airlines up 2%. Salesforce, I already talked about that. Micron up 1.5% on the move. Tesla up 4%. Again, they were price upgraded by Goldman Sachs. I went ahead and posted that on Instagram as well. AMD up 0.31%. Moderna up 1.4%. JD.com 0.73%. Facebook is getting sued by like 40 states, and they're only down 0.10%. So I do love me some Facebook long term. And I believe that's all. Fuel Cell Energy, FCEL is up about 8%. That's pretty much the names that I've seen that have been on the move, but those are all up pre-market. Good stuff. All right, let's answer some questions. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Any thoughts on Square calls? Square was price upgraded, so you have a little bit of a catalyst. I expect them to tap 210 in the near future, but if you're looking for a break level, you really have to get to around 214. CRM for puts? No, I wouldn't get into CRM for puts because it's going to start bouncing, and you see it here. So I do believe that CRM will retrace that level. I think CRM is a buy long term. I already have cloud names, so I'm not really looking into it, but 233 breaks, that'd be an interesting play. Why isn't Baba falling after delisted Bill? It did fall, obviously, but not just in this very second. But again, it's probably the strongest of all the Chinese firms out there. It's a great company. I own it, and I think that we're going to break that 200 day of 265. Netflix calls. Netflix is expensive. I don't see any reason to play this until we get to around 521. So in those 300 calls, yeah, again, if you want to close out BAB, be my guest. I mean, if you want to salvage anything, you're not going to salvage much. I'm willing to just hold it and see if we get any kind of crazy news. I've seen BABA pull this before where you've had some, you had this fall and then it just moves to the upside and you could salvage a little bit more. Any calls for next week? Nas, at this moment, no. Thoughts on Microsoft above 216 for calls? Let's take a look. Yeah, Microsoft, I have the level of 217.64. When you buy long-term, what level do you use? I use the 100-day moving average and the 200-day on the daily. BAC, 30 calls next week if it breaks 29.28. Let's see, BAC, yeah, 29.28 was my level for the high. If you do that, then 30 calls would be prudent. FB calls for next week. Does move. 300 calls are interesting. 300 calls are interesting. I saw some volume on the 300 calls for December 18th. Carlos, what happened to Spotify? Spotify soared. I own stock, and it soared because I think everyone was sharing their best of the year music. I think that's what it was. I didn't see any other news on that. Thoughts on AMD? 25 calls. Yeah, AMD's on the move. I got some of those calls as well. And we're right now at 94. Should hit all-time highs pretty soon, 96.37. A little bit of a fall from that yesterday push. Remember, AMD brought out a new chip, as well as that they have the chips for PS5 and Xbox. Palantir losses. I'm holding Palantir. If you want to close it, be my guest. I am not closing. This is one name that definitely could move. I'm definitely going to hold it, and I'm willing to take the L if the L happens tomorrow, but I'm willing to hold a little bit. Thoughts on BA? BA is breaking out above 226.56. Let's see. When to cash in on BA? If you have BA this morning, just go ahead and take your money and move on with your life. PayPal or Square, what's your pick long term and why? I think Square has more upside potential, but both are great. THCX long term, what's a good level to buy more shares? The Fed vote marijuana. I will wait for the Fed vote before you do anything. If they say no, then you'll give you an opportunity to buy some more. If they say yes, then we'll revisit. 230 calls next week. Take a look at the volume for BA before you do anything. JMIA. Thoughts? This is the company, I believe, in Africa that does e-commerce. Again, nice bounce back here. You can see above the 100-day moving average. We can take a look at the 40s for next week, if anything, but we have to take a look at it. Square entry, if you're looking for Square in regards to a trade, you need to get above at least right this level 214 before anything. SPY calls for next week. Yeah, I'm expecting all-time highs, but there was some volume push yesterday, I believe, on the 370s for this week. Let's see what happens this week coming up. QQ, any chance what it needs to break? Yeah, definitely a great chance on Qs, of course. I do believe that the indices are going to hit all-time highs by today, if not by tomorrow. And it should hit to the upside. But again, slight pullback on NASDAQ. Nothing crazy. But again, still green for the day. And again, you see above the previous all-time high, above the 50. That's a good sign. FB calls if it breaks 291.78. I still have that 300 level, but again, I can see what you're saying. 291.78 seems about right. What's your entry for stocks on AMD? AMD, I do own. Again, you need a meaningful pullback. If you're looking to buy some, right around 87 looks pretty good. That's a 200-day on the hourly. If you're looking at the daily, again, you need to get to around 82, which is the 50, or even 80 for the 100. Where do you see their volumes? The volumes, you go to trade, and then you go to your options chain, and you see it right here, under calls or under puts volume. That's where we are. All right, team, we're going to go and leave it there. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day. Happy Thursday. I will catch you guys tomorrow for the morning note. It's time to catch in with my students and my team, and we'll leave it there. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow for the morning note. Have a good one, guys. Happy trading.